Namaste. Happy New Year. I have decided to make a series of these videos. Um, I've lived 60 years on this planet thus far, and it's been a very interesting ride. And I don't want to live all this time and pass from this body and from this world without leaving some bit of information that people can take and expound further on and perhaps find use for. So, for the year of 2024, I have decided that I was going to commit to making at least 15 videos a month, and possibly, if I can, I'm not a truly disciplined person when it comes to making commitments of this sort, but if I can and if there's interest, I'll do one a day. That's my eventual plan, my intent. So, for this first video, I want to suggest to you a different way of looking at the world. And perhaps you may already see the world this way, but I see two separate worlds in my life. I have the world that is my own personal experience of what this whole thing is about. Um, it's created by my thoughts, my perceptions, my misperceptions. And I live in this bubble of a world. And so do you. We all do. And we all have our own separate bubble of a world. It's a personal space, a personal world, where we are the main character of our world. And we're always trying to figure something out. We're trying to figure it out so that we can help others, help ourselves, help whatever. Now, this is on one plane of existence, and that's the plane that I'm going to speak about today. Um, there is other planes that I'll get into later, but for now, this personal world. Much of what I'll be speaking of this year will have to do with this, and this is the reason why it's the first video. I experienced a set of circumstances that no other human being alive or ever uh, has experienced. No one has experienced a life exactly like mine but me. And no one has, well, even my brother and sister don't have the exact same genetics as I do. From what I understand, I'm not a scientist in that form. So, because of the way that I was raised and the certain set of circumstances that I experienced, I have a slightly different way of thinking than anyone else in history. And that's my personal contribution to the world, is my unusual way, my unique way of being. Now, this is true for you as well. No one has ever lived the particular set of circumstances you have. No one has ever interpreted things the way exactly like you do. So, because of this, there's we are each like one little cog in the machine of humanity. So that's the social world, and that's the second world that I see in my own bubble. And to my view, no one can come into my bubble, no matter how much I try, how much I would love for them to, no matter how many people come to visit, or if it's even one person. Um, my my bubble world, my personal world, is completely and totally unique to me. And the choices that I make within my world make sense to me, and it may not make sense to anybody else. And that's fine because I don't harm anybody in the social world. I attend to what is mine to do. What I feel like through my training and my living and my experiences and my knowledge, well, this next thing is the thing that I ought to do. And whether you're aware of it or not, you do the exact same thing, as does everyone else. We make our choices because those choices make sense to us based on the information that we have and how we were raised and all of the other factors that go into it. I will make a unique decision, and so will you. And so I can't judge your world at all. I don't know what your world is like. I have absolutely no clue. You can tell me till your face turns blue. I can tell you till my face turns blue. But there's no way that we can truly know what each other's worlds are like. At least no way in modern knowledge that I'm aware of. Possibly in mystic knowledge that I'm aware of. But, so, since this is the case, since I have my own personal world, you have your own personal world, your parents have their own personal worlds, and your kids have their own personal worlds, and this goes on and on for every human being on the planet. And then combined, we make up rules on how to live in society, live together. You can kind of think of it as a really big house, and we're all just one family, and we're trying to get along. We have arguments, and we have a whole bunch of brothers and sisters, and we some of us think one kind of have the same idea about a certain subject, and others have a different idea about a certain subject. And if I knew, I'm going to go the other way. If you knew only the information that I have, if you had only the experience that I've had to go with, if that's the only resources that you have to draw on is my knowledge, my understanding, my life experiences, and my particular set of problems, then you would make the decisions that I make because you would have no other information to go on. So I am making the best possible decisions that I can for the living of my life, my own experience. And I am 100% sure that they're not your they're not all the decisions that you would make if you were in this circumstance with your information. And now you can assume that you know what information I have because let's say that we read the same newspaper. But you would interpret the information in the newspaper in a different fashion than I would. And even though it's the exact same words, exact same phrasing, same newspaper, we would have differences of ideas as to what the author was writing about. And because of the fact that there's 8 billion people on the planet, I'm fairly certain that there's a significant number out there who understands where I'm coming from, and maybe they would agree, but they would still interpret it slightly differently. But to the outside observer, because this person over here might be agreeing with me, one might get the mistaken idea that they know what's in my world. But they don't. They can't. I'm the only person who's ever experienced what I've experienced. I'm the only person who has been through the particular set of circumstances that I've been through, and the same thing's true with you. So, what I'd like for you to do, if you wish, is I'd like for you to consider this idea that we all live in our own personal little bubble. And let's say that we get a soulmate, that person that we truly connect with. Are they living in the same world, even if they are sitting right here next to you? And even if they've been there a long, long time, do they really know your world? So, a few years ago, I had this idea to draw a comic. I'm not going to put it in this video anywhere because, frankly, I don't know where it went. But in this comic, it somehow, now I can't even remember exactly how it went, but it somehow went along the lines of, I live in my own little room. And what I can do is I can move the walls around so that we can sit side by side and sit close. And you can come into my world, but you're still in your own bubble. You're looking at the world from your point of view. You're seeing it from here. I'm seeing it from here. We enjoy each other. We have a great time. We love our thoughts about the other person. We love the sensations that we feel when we think about the other person, or when the other person is nearby, or when they're touching us, or whatever. And we absolutely love our feelings and our thoughts and everything. And we're trained not to recognize that this is our thoughts. This is our own personal world. It's our own personal bubble. We like the way that we are feeling in the presence or in the thought of another. And so we say, I love you. What are you loving? Are you just being love towards that person? Is there anything that that person could possibly do to lessen your love? I don't care if it's cheating or lying or stealing or stabbing or anything else. Is there anything that that person can do that would hinder your love? If so, then it's not them that you love, but it's your thoughts and your feelings and those things that are happening inside yourself. And I'm going to expound upon this in another video. I have my glasses on. Oh, I see now. So I want to make these videos about 15 minutes long. So I'm going to end this here. And what I would like for you to do, if you would, is drop into the comments. Do you have any questions? I mean, I've lived 60 years with paying attention to things. And I've studied a lot of information, and I've experimented a great deal with a lot of different things. And so I can't tell you what to do. Since you're in your own bubble world, your own personal world, I can offer information. I can share my experience with you. I can share my ideas with you. And maybe they're of some value to you. Maybe they're not. But in my own bubble, I've found that there has been an awful lot of people who have offered advice and offered all kinds of different things over the years, material items as well as just personal support, or even a foil with which to play with. But a lot of people have helped me figure it out to this point. And I really enjoy where I'm at in my life, in my personal self. I feel comfortable everywhere, in front of anybody. There's no, I'm fine with being me, who's just living my world, living my life. and perhaps something that I know might be able to help you. So if you have some questions or something, drop them down in the comments, and I'll answer them in a future video as best I can. If it gets too many of them, of course, I'll combine them or something. But help me, if you would, to keep my goal of 15 videos at least per month, and possibly one a day throughout the years of 2024. And by dropping a question, giving me a topic to speak on. I've got a bunch of them. I got a bunch of stuff to put out there. And it really has nothing to do with me. It's just stuff I've learned. This is what I don't want to die with all of this in me. I'd like to share it. Hopefully you can get something out of it. In any case, I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day. Namaste.